Your hot water, it should be somewhere between like 200, 205. I've always wanted to do something like this. A lot of these people come from cities where their coffee shops don't have things like this. Chemex is the hourglass shape. The glass has the top that's open, kind of like a funnel on top of a beaker, basically. It has a really nice thick filter on top. You put your coffee in at a certain grind, and you have your water, and like you control everything after that. So, you know, you have your Chemex, and like you want to warm it up because you want your Chemex to be nice and warm. You don't want any extra water in there, you just want it warm. So you pour your water out, and you put your filter in, and then you put your coffee in, and then you pour a little bit of the water on top. So if you're using like grams, if you're using like 35 grams, or if you want to talk tablespoons, that's like 5 tablespoons. A tablespoon of whole bean coffee is like, you know, roughly 7 to 8 grams of coffee. You want to do about double, so you want to do about 70 like milliliters of water. Milliliters and grams are in equal balance. And then you just let it sit there for about 10, maybe 15 seconds. And what that does is kind of let out a lot of the gases that get trapped in the coffee from the roasting process. I mean, those things don't necessarily taste very good, so you releasing them kind of helps just kind of aerate the coffee and kind of get out like the carbons and the nitrates. And so once you've done that, you take your pour pitcher and you start in the center, and you kind of pour nice and slow and make little nice circles, and then you start your brewing process of kind of going in rotation, and then just take a big like swooping rotation to kind of hit the filter so that none of your coffee is moving upward anymore, and make sure it's all going down the filter because it'll fill with water up to the top, and so you've created like this line in the sand basically. Once you kind of figure that part out, then you kind of can dive into like, well, how's my grind now changing too? Like, because if you think about it, like a bucket of sand has always been my favorite analogy, or a bucket of rocks. The water will go through quicker if it's rocks, and it'll go through slower if it's sand. So if you just kind of think of your grind in that manner, like you can adjust for the time. So like today we used a fairly coarse grind because I was serving a lot of people, so I wanted it to brew a little quicker. It's just a weird trial and error. There's really, there's some science to it, but the reality of it is it's your journey, and it's a culinary experience, so it should involve taste, and it should involve smell, and it should involve like you making something and being very joyful about it. And that's kind of what, to me, what makes the perfect cup of coffee is that idea that it's yours and you've really enjoyed it and you made it.